The pharaoh knows the end is near. This is his final week, his last days as a god on earth before he becomes a god of the afterlife. And now, the palace has gone quiet. The sun bleeds red across the desert. An ibis calls somewhere outside, like it knows what's coming. The pharaoh's family waits by the bed. Priests move through the halls with incense and calm hands. They whisper to Ra for light and to Osiris for mercy. Anubis guards the body, while Hathor keeps the path kind. The pharaoh lies weak under fine linen. The doctors still grind herbs, though everyone knows it's too late. Music gently plays in the corner because silence feels worse. At sunrise and sunset, the same rites repeat. Oil on the skin, words older than memory. The pharaoh's wife lights a lamp for balance. His son offers milk for the soul. Every part of him needs its share. Painters and scribes rush to finish their work. Coffins shine. Charms tie tight. Servant figures wait in rows, ready to serve in the next world. Grief surrounds the place, but the work doesn't stop. No one wants to be the one who makes the pharaoh late for eternity. The pharaoh breathes once more, then stops. His death is a sunset. The whole land understands. Priests speak the change aloud. The pharaoh becomes Osiris, ruler of the dead. A cry breaks from the women's quarters. The queen and daughters weep and rip their linen. Two women take the parts of Isis and Nephthys. They wail beside the body, calling the soul to remember the living. Rites begin right away. The Sem priest, often the eldest son, closes the eyes and mouth. He places an amulet on the chest, maybe the Djed pillar for strength. He prays for the pharaoh's spirit to find its way. Guards stand watch for unseen threats. A senior priest speaks, "O king, you are an Osiris. Your name lives on." Night brings torches and a story told many times. Ra dies each sunset and sails through the dark. At dawn, he lives again. So will the pharaoh. Priests say his soul boards the solar boat to cross the night. Then, the embalmers come. The chief embalmer wears the mask of a jackal, face of Anubis. The chief lector carries a papyrus of spells. They are holy men, though marked by death. They take the pharaoh's body, which is now sacred, onto a bier. Incense burns, voices chant, and the journey begins. The embalming takes 70 days. It's a countdown to eternity. The body goes to the Wabet, the house of purification. It stands by the Nile or in a clean desert tent. On the first day, they wash the pharaoh with river water and palm wine. Then comes the part no one volunteers for. The chief embalmer slides a long metal hook through the nose. He scrambles and drains the brain, which no one thought was worth saving. The skull is rinsed and filled with resin or linen. Next, he opens the left side of the body with a sharp obsidian blade. He removes the stomach, intestines, liver, and lungs one by one. Each organ is treated carefully, like a small god of its own. The heart stays. It's needed later for judgment, when truth gets weighed. The organs dry in natron, the desert's natural salt. Then they go into canopic jars. Each jar has a guardian. Imseti for the liver, Hapi for the lungs, Duamutef for the stomach, and Kebesenuef for the intestines. The sealed jars rest in a chest, waiting to travel with their owner. The body dries next. They rinse the empty space inside and pack it with natron and herbs. Then they bury the body in more natron for 40 days. The salt pulls out every trace of moisture and halts decay. Priests keep watch, burning incense and muttering spells to keep bugs and bad spirits away. When it's done, the pharaoh is shrunken, dry, and untouched by time. The human form is gone. What remains is something meant to last forever. Then, around the 50th day, the embalmers return to the wabet. They brush off the salt and find what's left of the pharaoh, which is usually dry and thin as parchment. The chief embalmer fills him with linen, sawdust, and myrrh to give him shape again. He oils the skin with cedar, frankincense, and lotus so it bends instead of cracks. Hollows are padded and glass eyes are fitted so the pharaoh can see once more, at least in theory. From the 60th to the 70th day, the wrapping begins. Professional bandagers work with steady hands while a priest chants nearby. They layer linen by the yard, tucking in amulets between folds. There are ankhs for life, scarabs for rebirth, and eyes for watchfulness. Over the chest rests a heart scarab, carrying a plea to stay silent during judgment, a handy bit of insurance. And for the curious ones, we've got an episode all about scarabs and the symbols that kept the ancients busy, so don't forget to check it out after this one. In the meantime, the lector priest reads spells the whole time. Each word blesses a limb, a sense, or a piece of the soul. The embalmers know their work is part ritual, part science. They're craftsmen of eternity. And when the wrapping is done, a gold mask covers the face so the soul can find its body again. The mummy is placed inside layers of coffins, wood within stone. Each surface is carved and painted with gods and prayers. Before the final seal, the priest performs the opening of the mouth. He touches the lips with a blade and says, "May you breathe and speak again." It's a small gesture with large expectations. And now, 70 days have passed. The body is no longer a body. It's ready for forever. The embalmers clean their tools and step back. Their king can now walk among the stars. As the pharaoh's body changed, so did his tomb. Egyptians saw the tomb as a small version of the universe. It was built to help the dead be born again. In the Old Kingdom, the tomb was a pyramid, a mountain of stone reaching for the sky. Its sides caught the sun like solid rays of light. It faced east and west to follow sunrise and sunset. Inside, carved words promised the pharaoh's return to Ra. They said he would rise as a star and sail with the sun god each night. Later, kings were buried in the cliffs instead of pyramids. Their tombs hid in the valley of the pharaohs. But the goal stayed the same. The west bank of Thebes, where the sun set, was the land of the dead. A mountain shaped like a pyramid stood over it, as if nature joined in. The tombs expanded deep into the rock with long halls and winding paths. They were meant to copy the underworld itself. Some twisted like Ra's nightly route through darkness. others went straight, like a clean road to dawn. Every wall was painted with the journey ahead. Books of the afterlife filled the rooms with stories in color. The Amduat showed the sun's path through 12 darkened realms. Spirits greeted or tested him along the way. The pharaoh followed as Ra's helper or as Osiris reborn. The Book of Gates added doors he had to pass and trials he had to face. Together, they formed a map for the soul, a guide written on stone to find the light again. In the old days, every pyramid had its own temple at the base. A stone road ran from there to the river. That was where the first and last rites took place. Offerings to the dead king went on for generations. In later times, the temples stood apart across the Nile. Hatshepsuts and Ramesses still hold on to the cliffs. Priests there kept the royal cult alive long after the body was gone. As the pharaoh's last week slipped by, they began the move. They lit lamps, stacked food, and praised his spirit instead of his crown. Down in the tomb, the work never stopped. Painters, carvers, and plasterers hurried to finish before the body arrived. Scribes checked the pharaoh's book of the dead, making sure every spell was in place. Woodworkers gilded the chest that would hold his organs. Others lined up jars, linens, weapons, and wine. Ushabti servants waited to take his place in the next world. Model boats waited too, ready to sail with the sun. Statues of the pharaoh stood in the dark, one hidden for his car to rest in. Every piece had a reason. Every act aimed to make him eternal. The ceiling showed Nut, the sky goddess, bending over him. They said the dead slept inside her body and rose with the sun each day. The coffin glimmered with stars and wings to guard the soul. The face turned west toward death and east toward dawn. Some tombs ended in a golden chamber shaped like a royal name. It was a symbol of endless life, a sealed engine of divinity. By the last day, everything was ready. The tomb became a doorway. The priests choose the day that they say the stars approve. Then, at dawn of that day, the funeral begins. The palace gates open, and the people fall silent. The pharaoh's body rests inside a golden coffin on a heavy sledge. Oxen pull it. Nobles help too, pretending it's for honor, not guilt. Priests walk ahead, swinging incense and spilling water and milk to cleanse the way. 2 rows of mourning priests follow, with ashes in their hair. They chant as the Isis and Nephthys mourners wail beside the body, just as the goddesses did for Osiris. The path leads to the Nile. There, a barge waits, covered in lotus and banners. The coffin is placed beneath a canopy like a small temple. 3 other boats follow. One carries the royal women and priestesses. Another holds the officials, servants, and offerings. A third bears the statue and sacred chests. As they sail west, a voice calls out, to the land of the justified, to the beautiful west. The oars keep pace. The water slaps the hull. Mourners whisper prayers between sobs. And once they reach the far shore, the coffin is drawn back onto dry land. Behind it trails the pharaoh's throne, weapons, and treasures. 2 women dressed as goddesses kneel by the moving bier. They guard him as if he might still feel danger. At the front, walks the Sem priest in a leopard skin. He carries the tools. The lector priest then reads the spells. They stop at shrines to perform old rites. Dancers in reed crowns sway in the Mu dance, which is said to keep the soul stable beyond death. Bread, beer, and meat are then laid down. Someone cries, "The Pharaoh is justified. The Pharaoh is a god." Then, shortly thereafter, the desert appears ahead. The tomb waits at the edge of the world. A carved and painted doorway stands before them. It's the gate between life and the afterlife. The coffin faces it. The Sem priest steps forward for the last rite. The body is lifted upright for the opening of the mouth. It is the moment when silence ends and eternity begins. The Sem priest then lifts and adds. He touches the mouth and eyes of the coffin. His calm voice rings out. As Horus opened the mouth of Osiris, I open yours so you may speak and taste again. The son becomes Horus in that moment. His father becomes Osiris. This act seals the line and blesses the spirit. We can still see it painted on Tutankhamun's tomb, where I performed it long ago. Nearby, a bull is sacrificed. Its foreleg is lifted as an offering to give the dead king strength for his next world. When the rite ends, the pharaoh is reborn. His body is awake, his senses return, and his godhood confirmed. Then comes farewell. Wine, bread, fruit, and lotus flowers fill the tomb. Each gift feeds the pharaoh's soul on the other side. Men slide the sarcophagus into its golden house. Canopic jars rest nearby, watched over by 4 goddesses. Wooden gods stand guard at the corners. Before sealing the chamber, mourners playing Isis and Nephthys break red pots, leaving sorrow behind. And as the sun sets, stones close the tomb. The priest speaks once more. May you rise with the sun, king and god. And with that, the tomb becomes a womb. Grief and faith still cloud the atmosphere. The pharaoh is gone. His name now joins the gods. And since the heir became Horus, ruler of the living, he now takes the throne after burying his father. For the Egyptians, death wasn't an ending. To them, death was a change of address. Rituals turned a man into a god and a tomb into a home. The pharaoh who ruled as Horus now rests as Osiris. He sails with the sun each day, dies again each night, and rises at dawn. It sounds certain, but the truth isn't. Most of what we know comes from broken walls, biased texts, and a few lucky finds. The picture we have is half memory, half guesswork. Still, it's enough to see what they believed, that even a god needs help finding his way home. Maybe that's the real question for us. What do we build, knowing one day we'll need to find our way too?